your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Henderson Alvarez anxious to get this game underway, standing on the steps of the Blue Jays dugout. He'll go up against his idol Felix Hernandez tonight, trying to salvage the final game of this three-game series. Seattle has won 2 close ball games, 4-3 in last night, 3-2 last night, 4-3 in the opener. And Eric Wedge will have King Felix going to the mound, trying to secure the first series sweep at Rogers Center since 2001. It'll be Ackley, Gutierrez, and Seager, top 3 in the order. Middle 3, John Jay. So Michael Saunders, the Canadian, has really done a great job. He's from Victoria, BC. He's hit .372 over his last 12 games with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. He's hitting in that 5th spot. Justin Smoke makes his first start of the series at first base. Luis Jimenez, big, powerful left-handed hitter, is the DH tonight. Carlos Peguero's in right, and Brendan Ryan is the shortstop.
Henderson Alvarez on the mound tonight for Toronto Blue Jays, making his 28th start of the season. He ended a personal 5-game losing streak on Friday. That was at Boston. Pitched into the 7th inning in that game. He had a little bit more on his fastball. He threw a lot of first pitch strikes, and he kept the ball on the ground. 12 ground ball outs, so the sinker was really sinking for Alvarez that day. He came out after that game, after 6 1/3 innings and just 91 pitches, complaining of some tricep tightness, but since then he hasn't had any complaining about that, and fastball certainly has got plenty enough on it.
Taylor, the defense behind Henderson Alvarez. Rajay Davis is back in left field. Last night it was Anthony Ghost. Ghost moves to right, and Colby Rasmus is in center. Escobar Johnson up the middle, Laurie Lind at the corners, and Jeff Mathis will try to get Henderson Alvarez through this ball game tonight.
Jeff Mathis has done a good job of calling a ball game and really helping out some of these young pitchers right along. And besides that, he's thrown out 43% of the base stealers against him. He's done a fine job this year.
So Mathis behind the plate, and we are set for action to be the leadoff batter, Dustin Ackley. Ackley in last night's game went 1 for 4. He doubled scored in the 4th inning. He also had a walk. Ackley is going through a little bit of an adjustment period. This is his first real full season, and the league is making adjustments to him. Now he's going to have to counteract those adjustments.
Everywhere that he has played, he has hit. And I'm sure they'd like to see a little bit higher batting average and a little bit higher on-base percentage from Ackley.
You can see he's hit just over 200 his last 15 games. It's a ball and a strike as Alvarez pours that fastball in there. I mentioned Henderson Alvarez, just 22 years old, and he idolizes Felix Hernandez. Of course, Hernandez is an icon in Venezuela, their native country. Ball is hit to center field. Colby Rasmus back in front of the warning track, makes the catch. 1 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Henderson Alvarez, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Ramp it up in there. That's what he does with that fastball. It can reach 96, 97 miles an hour, and he's got to use it and hit his spots. Plenty of fastball. The only problem, he's got to have a little bit better command of it. His changeup is a plus pitch for him, and that slider is developing a little bit. Last time out to the mound, though, I thought his sinker was back to where it should have been.
All right, there's a good fastball at 97 in a good spot, down and away.
Last time out, he also had first pitch strikes, just 14 of 26 batters against the Boston Red Sox. Made up with that with a good power sinker like that fastball right there.
Franklin Gutierrez had the big hit in the game last night. It came in the 4th inning, a 2-run, 2-out single to right. That was the difference in the ball game. That put Seattle up 3-0 at the time. And then in the bottom of that 4th inning, Edwin Encarnacion would hit a 2-run home run, and that's where the score ended up. 3-2 Mariners. Bouncing ball to first. Lind will step on the bag. 2 easy outs for Alvarez here in the first.
Boy, that is a good sign right there. 2 strikes, and he attacked Franklin Gutierrez in a weak swing, a very defensive swing from Gutierrez.
That's the way hitters should swing with 2 strikes, and Alvarez has that kind of fastball. Brian Butterfield and Luis Rivera having a little laugh on the bench. Kyle Seager. He has worn out the Blue Jays all season long. Seager batting .483 against the Jays. He's 14 for 29 this season against the Blue Jays. He's hit 4 doubles, a home run in just 8 games. And he's in his first big full season with the Mariners.
You know what we have noticed from him over the games that we have broadcast and he has played in, he hits the ball all over the place. You pitch him away and he'll slash it down the left field line. You pitch him in like Brandon Morrow did here on Tuesday, and he can pull the ball into the bullpen in right field for a home run.
Those are the numbers we were talking about. He is 6 for 10 in the first 2 games of this series. He got beat by that high fastball. Well, there's a good pitch. Then Seager did exactly what he wanted to do. He knew he wasn't going to hit that pitch hard. He just spoiled it. Reached for the outside pitch, and now he's asking the umpire if it was off the plate or not.
Good hitters do that to pitchers' pitches right there. You take a half swing, or you kind of a swing just to keep your at bat alive.
Bouncing ball. Second baseman Kelly Johnson has it. Good inning for Henderson Alvarez. He sits down the Mariners in order. Felix Hernandez will take on the Blue Jays when we come back. Mariners in order, 1, 2, 3. Now the Blue Jays hitters will try to solve Felix Hernandez. Take a look at the lineup. It'll be Brett Lawrie, Colby Rasmus, Edwin Encarnacion. Rasmus over his last 5 games starting to pick it up a bit. He's at .316 over that stretch with a homer and 3 ribbies. Adam Lind, Yunel Escobar, Kelly Johnson, middle 3 in the order. Rajay Davis, Jeff Mathis behind the plate, and Anthony Ghost batting .220. Swinging to bat much better this second go around with the Blue Jays.
Felix Hernandez, 29 starts this year, trying to avoid losing 3 consecutive starts for the first time this season. Rough patch right now. He's lost back-to-back games for the second time this year. Given 11 hits last time out. That was a season high in losing to the Oakland A's. Still a very tough customer when he is on.
Blue Jays have hit Hernandez well. The last time they saw Felix Hernandez, they scored 7 runs off him. That was out in Seattle. Had a 7-0 lead going into the bottom of the 7th, only to see it evaporate.
And they ended up losing that game. He's given up 7 runs or more 14 times in his career. Henderson Alvarez, twice to the Blue Jays.
Brett Lawrie quickly in a hole, 0-2. Lawrie hasn't faced Hernandez in the past. Giving him the old evil eye, trying to figure out how to solve it. Hernandez, the last time he pitched in this ballpark was September 23rd, 2010. He gave up a first inning home run to Jose Bautista. There's a bouncing ball in the hole. Ryan quickly unloads. Man, can he play short? Woo! He threw that ball with a jump throw. Knows that Lowry runs well and made a fine play behind Felix Hernandez.
And remember who was running? Brent Lowry, who can really get down that line. Covers a lot of ground. Ryan, and he's airborne, and he's able to get enough on that ball all the way across the diamond. A lot of times you'll see shortstops plant that right foot and try and get a little bit more on it. That time elevates like Derek Jeter and guns it across the infield.
Oh, he can really play short. He is the backbone of this great Mariner defense. Kobe Rasmus takes the first pitch strike. We mentioned that game that Hernandez pitched here. He gave up a first inning home run to Bautista. That was Bautista's 50th home run, and that would end up being the only run of the game. Ricky Romero beat Felix Hernandez 1-0. Hernandez was to give up just 2 hits, but on the wrong end of a 1-0 game.
Yeah, I knew there was some significance to the only run he gave up. That was Bautista's 50th that year.
And Ricky Romero outpitched King Felix. We mentioned Hernandez is just 26 years old. He's already won a Cy Young Award that came in 2010. Threw a perfect game on August 15th against the Devil Rays, and this is his 9th start against the Jays.
Boy, if you ever want to start a pitching staff and you want to build and you can have one guy in Major League Baseball, this might be your guy right here. He's got everything you want in a #1 starter. He gives you innings. He gives you strikeouts. He gives you decisions.
There's a base hit curveball that Rasmus slapped through the hole at shortstop. Let's take a look at the defense behind Felix Hernandez. Mariners have played 94 error-free ball games this year. They got a tight defense. Saunders, Gutierrez, and Peguero in the outfield. The left side of the diamond is Kyle Seager and Brendan Ryan. Right side, Dustin Ackley and Justin Smoke, and John Jaso is behind the plate.
Just one error so far in this series. That is Michael Saunders in left field. Very impressive. Center field, right field, left field tonight. He's got 4 outfield assists. Good looking athlete.
Edwin Encarnacion, we mentioned his 2-run home run last night. That was his 39th homer of the season. He is 1 RBI away from the 100 Ribby plateau. Shattered bat down to third. Seager goes across the diamond, scooped by Smoke as Hernandez gets in the kitchen of Encarnacion.
Wow, and that's a shattered bat from Encarnacion. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Felix Hernandez. He's got a little bit of everything. When he is on, he can throw 5 pitches over for strikes. Look at the repertoire that he has. Fastball overpowering. Power plus can overmatch you. He's got a very controlled delivery, and when he is on again, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs and few home runs. It's tough to square the ball up on him. It's tough to get the ball in the air against Felix Hernandez, and this is how good he can be. Watch this ball just roar right inside on Encarnacion and just shatters his bat. Ball moves everywhere on top of coming up there about 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, and you can see that that barrel of the bat went in the dugout, and it looked like Bruce Walton had been hit by that barrel, and a lot of concern faces in that dugout now. George Poulos is attending to Bruce Walton. They were watching the baseball, not sure where that barrel went, but evidently it went into the dugout. And it's always a fear with those shattered bats. That's happened there now, attending to Bruce Walton, and not sure where he got hit, but obviously some sort of injury. That bat exploded when Encarnacion made contact, and looks like it might have hit him in the arm. So 2 outs now. Rasmus at second in scoring position. Adam Lind against Felix Hernandez. You mentioned that wide assortment of pitches. That's got to be a challenge for any hitter, and Lind experienced that firsthand. He's just 1 for 13 against King Felix.
So I think what you have to do is you've got to eliminate some of those, especially early in the count. Say, I want to look for one pitch early, and if he throws it to me, be ready for it. You as a hitter can't go up there looking for 5 different types of pitches. There's no way.
Do you look in an area, or do you single out a pitch?
You know, if you feel comfortable looking in an area, I say look in an area. Inside, he might try and bust you with a fastball if you have a little bit of a history with him. So if you look inside, you might look for that fastball. I think you have to go back to some of your other at-bats that you have had against him, success that Hernandez has had against you, and then just go ahead and sit on something that he has really dominated you with.
Adam Lind, since he's come off the disabled list, has hit .250 with a home run and driven in 6. Well, I tell you what, he never repeats pitches, never gives you the same velocity, never gives you the same location. I asked a bunch of people about Hernandez today before the game. I spoke to Eric Wedge, the manager. Wedge had C.C. Sabathia and Cliff Lee as young pitchers in Cleveland. And then I spoke to John Jaso about Hernandez. There's a drive to right. This is trouble. This is gone. Home run, Adam Lind, a 2-run shot. That's only the 13th home run Hernandez has given up this season, the 10th for Lind on the year.
And the 8th on the road. Yeah, that was a no doubt about it. It looked like Lind was ready for one of those inside fastballs. Inside, and he turns on it. Keeps the barrel of the bat above the baseball to create some backspin and hits it right off the back wall in right field.
Escobar drives it to right. Peguero is back, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays break through on top. Adam Lind, a 2-run shot to right. 2-0 Jays. Toronto hits a home run, you can win big. Audio, home theater systems, and big TVs like an 80-inch Sharp Aquos Quattron. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. King Felix gave up a 2-run home run to Adam Lind. As we mentioned, Felix is stingy as far as giving away home runs. That's just the 13th home run he's allowed in 209 1/3 innings.
Yeah, that's the big number. Over 200 innings again for King Felix.
So Henderson Alvarez is staked to an early lead. John Jaso takes the ball downstairs. Now here's where Alvarez really has to punctuate that 2-run home run by a quick inning. Get his hitters back in there against Felix Hernandez.
When he runs into trouble, and I'm talking about Henderson Alvarez, he really just starts throwing instead of pitching. And I think that's where, when we talked about his fastball command being a key to him tonight, being able to repeat that delivery and then pound the strike zone. You get a 2-0 lead, and the last thing you want to do is walk the guy on 4 pitches.
Walk really proved pivotal in the game last night. A 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter in the 4th inning led to a 2-run inning for Seattle, and as we mentioned, that was the difference in the game. Ricky Romero walked Brendan Ryan with 2 outs, and they capitalized. So Michael Saunders, the left fielder here tonight. Saunders has been in left, then in right last night, and now back in left field tonight. Jaso at first. There's a strike, and Alvarez right back into the strike zone. Saunders has done a good job against the Blue Jays this season. .367 average. He has 11 hits. He's hit 5 doubles and a pair of home runs.
Yeah, he and Seager have teamed up to really made life miserable for the pitchers on the Blue Jays this year. Seems like every time in big situations they have come up with big hits.
He's late on that fastball, and it's well foul. Michael Saunders really starting to come into his own. He's 25 years old now. And Eric Wedge was really singing his praises before the game. You can see he's been hot of late. He started 102 games in center field while Gutierrez was dealing with injuries. But he can run, hits for power, steal you a base, and he's a great defender.
That's a big center fielder. I mean, he's a tall guy, about 6'4", with long legs, long strides. I think he's going to hit more home runs as he gets a little bit older, gets around the league just a little bit longer. Look at the size of that frame, and his swing certainly shows that he can hit for more power.
Inside off the plate. It's 2-2. Michael Saunders has hit a career high 14 home runs this season. It's the most he's ever hit in professional baseball, way back in 2007. In the California League, he hit 14. And I agree with you. I think he's going to learn how to hit home runs.
First thing you want to do with a young hitter is teach him how to hit, and that means take away their power. Teach him to hit to all fields.
Saunders strikes out as Alvarez comes back and strikes out Saunders. That's the first out of the top half of the second.
Watch the late movement on this pitch from Alvarez. The ball goes straight down. That's the power sinker that he had in his last start against the Boston Red Sox, where he got those 12 ground ball outs.
Justin Smoak into the starting lineup tonight. It's the first time we've seen him start. Came into the ball game defensively in last night's game. He's a switch hitter batting left-handed against Alvarez, and the Blue Jays expect him to pull the ball on the ground. Smoak was a highly regarded minor leaguer with the Texas Rangers. Cliff Lee was traded to Texas in exchange for Justin Smoak, who was the key player in that deal.
He was the key player in that deal. Now over 400 at bats this year, still hitting just 189. Spent some time on the disabled list. And that's a mystery. When you watch him take batting practice and play the game of baseball, how he is hitting just 189. Switch hitter, so that breaking ball is always coming into him instead of going away from him.
There's a little looper into left. That'll get down in front of Davis for a base hit. Smoak's aboard. So 2 men are on as John Jaso stopped at second.
Ball was up from Alvarez. It's got to keep that ball down. A sinker ball pitcher, he's got to keep that ball started right at the thigh and let it break down towards the knee. That's where you get those ground ball outs.
So now the big DH, Luis Jimenez. And we say big DH, have a look. Jimenez is a big fella. And he can put on a show. He's got some power. And the last couple of days, we've been watching him take BP. He can hit them a long way. At his first career start on the 7th of September. Picked up his first hit in that ball game against Oakland. Good fastball for a strike. With AAA Tacoma at .310, had 20 home runs and drove in 81.
Well, you can see why. There are his numbers right there. Big. He is a big guy.
It's this ball on the ground. Laurie has to go to first in time as Jimenez was retired. Little squibber off the end of the bat. Laurie stayed with it, made a strong throw to retire the DH.
You know what I think I like there on that play by Laurie? He didn't freak out. He knew who was running. And watch how he gathers himself over the ball, fields it with two hands, and then fires it across the diamond. A lot of times you'll see third baseman come in not knowing who the runner is, try to make a barehanded play and drop the ball or do something like that to keep the inning alive. That time he just took his time, knew who was running, and recorded the out.
Carlos Pregame, the right fielder. Pregame spent most of his season at AAA Tacoma, played in 49 games, hit 18 home runs in 188 at bats.
Oh, he can hit home runs. Strikes out a lot too. Blue Jays faced him when they were in Seattle, and they threw a lot of breaking balls to him.
Alvarez really hasn't settled into his delivery yet. You can see he's throwing the ball hard, but he's missed when he tries to get a little more velocity on that fastball.
And that's what we were talking about in the scouting report from him. Just being able to command that fastball and go to a spot with it. Both sides of the plate.
Fly ball to left. Davis came in. Now he's got to go back, and he has it go over his head. As Rajai Davis misplayed that ball, he took a couple of steps in, and it proved costly. As Seattle scores 2 runs on what should have been the 3rd out of the inning. Pregame credited with a 2-run double.
First step for an outfielder is so important, and you can see 1-2 steps in, and by that time he just misses it also. Just couldn't get a good break on it. Thought that ball wasn't as hit as hard as it was by Pregame, and Alvarez can't believe it. He'll be charged with a couple of runs on that ball hit by Pregame.
So just like that, it's a tie game once again. 2nd double of the season for Pregame. That'll bring to the plate the number 9 hitter, Brendan Ryan. Ryan struck out 3 times in last night's game. He was officially 0 for 3. It's this one right back to the mound. Alvarez has it, and Ryan is retired. The inning is over. But the Mariners tied up in the top of the 2nd. Rajai Davis misplayed a line drive. Henderson Alvarez gives up 2. Kelly Johnson will start things off. Rajai Davis, and then Jeff Mathis, the catcher. Runs off of Felix Hernandez in the first inning, a 2-run home run by Lind, and you can see his last 2 starts, he's had some problems. Those 2 starts, first against the Angels and the second one against the Athletics, he's pitched a combined total of 12 innings. He's allowed 20 hits and an ERA of 6.75.
He talked a lot about his games, his last 2 times out, and he said every pitch was up. In those last couple of games, he said he fell behind a lot of times, and he falls behind here again.
This ball game early on is kind of a snapshot of the Blue Jays season. They scored 2 runs off one of the toughest pitchers in baseball and give it right back. There's a ball right under the legs of Hernandez. Brendan Ryan, boy, he's got some range. He throws out Kelly Johnson. That's the first out of the second.
Range, and they position him against Kelly Johnson. Watch where this ball goes. Right between the legs of Hernandez. Usually a base hit, you think. But there's Brendan Ryan shading up the middle. Very quick feet and a quick release to get the out. Pretty impressive.
Well, and he didn't straighten up to throw it. He knew he had to stay down and just throw it from the side. And he threw a strike to throw out Kelly Johnson. 1 down. Rajay Davis. Rajay came into the ball game last night as a pinch hitter, and he flew out to right against Oliver Perez. Oh, and 2. Well, we mentioned the Blue Jays, man, that snapshot of their season. They get up 2-0, and Henderson Alvarez walks the leadoff man on 4 pitches.
Yep.
In the next half inning.
And wouldn't you know, he would come around to score. And because the Mariners score a couple of runs, does that give Felix Hernandez new life here? Watch him come out here. Let's see how he challenges here in the second inning.
Well, Hernandez has really not been supported by much run support all year long. His run support average while he's in a game is 3.75. He's among the fewest runs in the majors. And already tonight he's been given 2 runs, so he's back in a tie game.
What's wrong with that? 3 runs? You can't win with 3 runs?
Tough to do in the American League.
Exactly. I'm just kidding, of course.
Jeff Mathis hits one to the gap, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Mathis is headed for second. He's thinking about third, but will stop after he goes around second with a 2-out double for Mathis. His 11th double of the season.
What new? Jeff Mathis versus Felix Hernandez. He now has 7 hits in his career versus Felix Hernandez. 3 extra base hits, a couple of doubles, or excuse me, a couple of home runs, and now this double. This ball is stroked nicely. In the left center field, an easy double for Mathis.
Well, Mathis, of course, grew up in the Angels system, came to the big leagues with the Angels, and faced Hernandez a lot. That was the 33rd at bat against Felix Hernandez. Anthony Gose. That's the first pitch strike. You mentioned Felix Hernandez in the first inning was a little bit up with his pitches. It'll be an interesting study to watch how he makes adjustments after that first inning.
See if he can get that ball down. You know you're in a hole 0-2 and you're facing Felix Hernandez. He doesn't let you get out of it.
Gross gets a piece of it and stays alive.
Looked up some of the numbers on him when the count is 0-2 and he is pitching. He has had 67 at bats when the count goes to 0-2, and he has struck out 40 of the batters he has faced. That's on an 0-2 pitch. I mean, he's not even wasting any pitches and running the count to 1-2 or 2-2. The next pitch after that 0-2, see ya.
Anthony Gose drives it to left. Michael Saunders is there, and that'll end the inning. The Blue Jays, no runs on a hit. They leave a runner. We'll go to the third. It's a 2-2 game. You buy season tickets. They're on sale now. You purchase your 2013 Blue Jays season tickets by December 7, 2012. Then you'll receive a $100 Blue Jays gift card, a Blue Jays Authentic Collection Premier Jacket, and a limited edition Jose Bautista bobblehead doll. For more information, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or log on to BlueJays.com to pick up your 2013 season tickets. Dustin Ackley, the leadoff batter. Flied to center his first time up. Ackley looks like he's going to hit. We mentioned this year's average is down, but it's his first full season. And we have seen this, and Brett Lawrie's a great example. Second year, pitchers are starting to study you. Pitchers are starting to exploit weaknesses. And Ackley, his average a year ago in 90 games was 273. And if he did that now, you'd say, okay, well, that's exactly what we want. Brett Lawrie kind of went through the same thing. Lawrie came up and caught the league a little bit off guard. But now they recognize his skills and they really work him over. Same is happening with Ackley.
And what they are doing, they're throwing him a few more off-speed pitches. They, just like some of the young players that the Blue Jays have brought up, pitchers will challenge you with fastballs when you first come up, see if you can handle a big league fastball. When you show that you can do that, they start going to the off-speed pitch, change up, breaking ball, and that's one thing. Last year he hit over 300 on the off-speed pitch. This year he's just hitting 192.
Ackley is a first-round pick of the 2009 draft. Bouncing ball over Alvarez. Kelly Johnson. Quickly you get Ackley. Ackley can run. Johnson made a nice play. So that leadoff man always important. Get that first out of the inning, and that's what Alvarez does here. So with one out, he'll work to the center fielder, Franklin Gutierrez. He goes after the first pitch. Gutierrez has been around. He signed originally with the Dodgers as a non-drafted free agent November of 2000. He played in the Gulf Coast League with the Dodgers and made it up to Las Vegas, Vero Beach in 2003 and 4, and then he was acquired by Cleveland in exchange for Milton Bradley in 2004.
Pitch.
He made it to the big leagues with Cleveland, just a cup of coffee in 2005. Eric Wedge was his manager then in Cleveland, as he is today. 1-2. Pretty good slider, but just missed the outside corner. I think that's the pitch that is going to define Henderson Alvarez. If he can master that third pitch, then he's got a chance to start.
I do too.
If he doesn't master that pitch, his long-term role will probably be in the bullpen.
You know, it's so tough for a starter to go to war with just two pitches. And he's got a good fastball. We've seen him light up the radar gun at 95, 97 miles an hour. And if he can sink it on a consistent basis, it's a pretty good pitch. So it's an above average pitch, and his changeup is an above average pitch. But not having that third one, that's tough.
That's a fair ball. Lawrie off balance throw in time. Good play by Lawrie. Great play by Lind on the other end. That ball took Lawrie into foul territory, and Adam Lind went into foul ground to take the bouncing ball in foul territory.
And Brett knew that he didn't have time to set his feet and court the ball across the infield because Gutierrez runs really well. As a first baseman, you're fearful of this ball as it tails into the runner if it's going to all meet together. But he does a good job of shifting his feet, going into foul territory and letting the ball come to him as the runner crosses in front of him. Good play on both corner positions.
2 outs. Kyle Seager grounded to the second baseman, his first time up. And Laurie looks a little better now that he's shaven as well.
I told him that yesterday.
Brett Laurie at third has been exceptional. I don't think there's anybody in baseball that has the range of Laurie at third, nor the accuracy with his arm.
And the aptitude to learn the position. Very attentive. It's a position where you've got to come in and go back. Not so much laterally. He certainly has that, but you've got to be able to come in, charge those slow rollers. He does a good job, and he's a quick learner.
Well, he's got such great physical ability. He's got explosive speed, very quick reactions, and he's got the mindset of wanting to be great. There's a drive toward center. Rasmus is not going to get it, but he cuts it off. Seager is looking at second, and he'll stop after a big turn. Good play by Rasmus to keep Seager off second base.
As a runner, you hit a ball in a gap like Seager did. You run until that outfielder shows you he's going to stop you. Colby cuts it off and uncorks one right back in very quickly, and Seager had thoughts of going to second. You can see how far that turn is at first base. The play's right in front of you. Just run as hard as you can until that outfielder cuts that ball off and gets it back in.
John Jaso, the catcher. Long drive, but well foul. Well, he was looking fastball and got his pitch, but it was out in front. Well, going back to that Seager play, if you're a young player at home, that's exactly how you run the bases. He was full speed around the bag, halfway to second, and looked up and saw the throw coming in. That's when he decided to stay put.
You don't take anything for granted. Just think about two every time you hit the ball to the outfield.
Kelly Johnson to second in time. Well, the defense is on their toes behind Alvarez tonight. Brett Laurie made a good play to throw out Franklin Gutierrez, and here Kelly Johnson takes a hit away from John Jaso to end the inning. Good defense as he backhands, gets on his knees, and goes to second for the force out. The inning is over. This year, and we mentioned the Cy Young Award, and we're going to introduce you to a new metric, and baseball people around the game have really responded to this pitcher's game score that was developed by Bill James. You start with a pitcher and he gets 50 points for every start. Then you add a point for each out recorded. You add 2 points for each inning completed after the fourth. Then you add a point for a strikeout, and it just adds up. So the pitchers are graded according to their game score. The no-hit games this season, Matt Cain, perfect game for San Francisco, graded out as a 101. Remember, all these guys started at 50. Felix Hernandez, his perfect game was a 99. Philip Humber, he threw a perfect game, but it only graded out at 96. And then Weaver, Santana, 95 and 90 respectively. So we thought we'd introduce that to you. It's a very interesting number, and a lot of people are really buying into it. And it's a pretty good measurement of how effective a starter was during each outing.
It's also like the quarterback rating.
Not as complicated.
Not as complicated, but the same idea.
Exactly. Laurie breaks his bat and hits it to Brendan Ryan, and that's the first out of the inning.
I can follow along that. The add and subtract a point here or a point there. I can figure that one out.
Right, and some of the formula, and there are a bunch of them out there now. I mean, they arbitrarily say, well, you add 0.5 and divide it by 16 and multiply it by 9, and that's why you come at, well, this is much more simple. And the average game score this year for a starting pitcher is 49. So it gives you an idea just how much better than normal those perfect games and no hitters were.
Start at 50. Every pitcher gets 50 to start the game.
And I think 49 is pretty reflective of that, because an average start this season has been 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. That's just an okay game. Nothing special.
That's the average? That makes sense then, because you're adding for strikeouts and subtracting for walks.
Colby Rasmus drives one to the gap. Michael Saunders over to cut it off. Rasmus will stop it first. Colby delivers a 1-out single, his second hit of the night.
2 for 2. Watch him stay right on that ball as it goes down and away. Then you see his head stay right down on that baseball. That's how you hit a pitch that's sinking away from you. Stay on top of it, keep your head down.
Colby had a 2-hit night in the opener on Tuesday night. He scored 2 runs and drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. Last night he was shut out 0 for 3, but he walked and scored ahead of the Encarnacion home run. Felix Hernandez gave up a 2-run home run to Adam Lind in the first. Blue Jays have had a hit each inning so far against Hernandez. I spoke to Kevin Millwood prior to the start of this game tonight. Millwood pitched in last night's game and picked up the win. He's been around great pitchers. He grew up in the Brave system. He pitched in 2005 with C.C. Sabathia, Cliff Lee, and Jake Westbrook. And I asked him about Hernandez. He said everybody looks at the variety of pitches that he throws, but focus on the location of those pitches. He pitches down in the zone as effectively as anybody. And then, too, Millwood suggested that when he hits the field, he knows exactly how he's going to pitch everybody in that lineup.
So on top of great physical talent, he's pretty smart too. And he's got the wherewithal to figure out what he wants to do out there. I like it in his delivery. It's a very compact delivery. Nothing really wild about it, but he really creates a nice downward plane with that baseball. He gets his hand on top of it and drives it to the lower parts of the strike zone.
2-1. Little sinker that Encarnacion taps found. Well, Felix Hernandez was drafted and signed by the Mariners and developed. You can see there's the pretty impressive numbers for Encarnacion, 39 and 99. As he is poised to drive in 100 for the first time in his career.
Trying to join a very select crowd in Blue Jay history who have hit 40 home runs in a season with 100 RBIs. I like his chances.
Two and two, 1 out. Hernandez coming inside with that fastball, hits Encarnacion, and he'll take first base. That'll push Rasmus to second. and set the table again for Adam Lind, who's homered already tonight.
That wasn't his best fastball. Looked like he tried to turn it over to get the ground ball, and it hit him in the wrist. He rushed it up there in upper 90s. That time it was just 91 miles an hour. It hits him on the forearm. Trying to crowd him with that pitch.
Felix Hernandez hit Alex Rodriguez early in the season, and it broke Rodriguez's hand. And the pitch was a changeup. And Rodriguez was very grateful it was a changeup, because it wasn't as significant as it might have been had it been that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So the Blue Jays in a 2-2 ball game, and Adam Lind is responsible for the Blue Jays' 2 runs. His 10th home run came in the first inning with 2 outs. Well, he's got a good swing going tonight.
One of the troubles that Felix Hernandez has had over his last couple starts is balls that are up, and that time that one was up and in the middle of the plate. And smoked that one to right field for the Jays' first 2 runs.
Just took something off, and Lind was just ahead of that pitch. He's behind 0-2.
He's got the action of a split finger fastball, doesn't it? How it goes down like that. Throws it as a great changeup out of a great arm slot.
And gets the strikeout. Marked the breaking ball down and in, and he was able to strike out Lind. 2 down now. With 2 outs, let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Orioles are playing with a little Oriole magic once again. Manny Machado had the bunt that started the 2-run rally in the 7th inning, and then gets the game winner with a base hit to left as they continue their consecutive winning streak in extra inning games. Now 13 games they've won in extra innings. 13 straight.
Oriole magic you're talking about. How about the Houdini act they did in the bottom of the 13th?
Chris Archer got out of it with the bases loaded, nobody out, stranded the bases loaded. Young starter for Tampa Bay, pitching in relief.
And then they still came back and won that game.
Yeah, they've got something special going on, but they're really going to have a test now. Is after that game they headed west. They'll take on Oakland for 3 games, these Seattle Mariners for 3 more before they fly back to Boston to take on the Red Sox. 9 days, 9 games in 10 days, and crisscrossing the country.
Yeah, back and forth. You'd think the schedule makers would have them start in Boston after coming here, and instead of flying out there and then coming back to play Boston.
The schedule makers didn't plan on them being in front of the American League East. Scott Berry said that Escobar went too far. It looked like he checked in plenty of time, but now it's a 2-2 count.
Going to that slider effectively. That time it just crossed. Made an attempt at it. Struck out Lind with that breaking ball, and he's gotten 2 strikes on Escobar with it.
There's that good sinking fastball down and away, and Hernandez gets out of it. Back-to-back strikeouts with 2 on and 1 out, and he gets out of the inning, leaves a pair. We're still tied at 2. Fans, a reminder, Davis Cup tennis action comes your way tomorrow on Sportsnet. Canada, led by Milos Raonic, takes on South Africa, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, live from Montreal. The Davis Cup right here on Sportsnet. Milos Raonic has had a great year. He's really played some great tennis, and he hopes to lead Canada in that Davis Cup match in Montreal. Michael Saunders struck out in the second. Saunders is one of 4 Canadian players to hit 2 home runs in a ball game while playing in Canada. The other 3, Larry Walker, Matt Stairs, and Justin Morneau. He did that back in April here. He had a home run in the 9th inning and a grand slam in the 10th.
I would have guessed Larry Walker when we played in Montreal. Matt Stairs, that's a good one.
And you know how well Justin Morneau always hit here at Rogers Center.
Started off slowly in his career, but then started raking. Good pitch.
Good pitch. That comeback fastball catches the inside corner. Saunders strikes out twice tonight. That's the first out of the top of the 4th.
That time taking. Watch the movement that Alvarez get. Late movement. Good job by Jeff Mathis to freeze it right there. And he clearly catches the plate. Boy, if he could perfect that pitch against left-handers, I think it'd be a solid pitch for him.
Justin Smoke hits the ball right to the second baseman, Kelly Johnson. 2 quick outs for Alvarez here in the 4th. You see Pete Walker sitting on the bench, and pitching coach Bruce Walton apparently was hit by a broken bat off the bat of Edwin Encarnacion in the 1st inning. We saw Bruce Walton attended to by the training staff. He has left the bench, and Walker has come in from the Blue Jays bullpen. We have not been updated on the status of Bruce Walton and the extent of his injury.
Looked like he was holding his arm against his side when he was leaving the playing field. Hope Pappy's all right.
Luis Jimenez, he's 30 years old. Played 125 games at Tacoma this year. But he's really interesting in that he started in 2001 as a 19-year-old with Oakland. Played in the Arizona Rookie League. Hits this ball back to the mound, and it's going to be a good inning for Henderson Alvarez. Jimenez is out 1-3. Just 7 pitches. Alvarez dispatches the Mariners. Kelly Johnson will lead things off. Rajay Davis and Jeff Mathis, who's already doubled tonight. Down to the end of the bench to have a word with Henderson Alvarez after a very good inning. Alvarez threw just 7 pitches. And Pete Walker, the bullpen coach, is now on the bench acting as the pitching coach, and John Farrell with some words for his starting pitcher. Alvarez did a good job settling down after allowing 2 runs on 2 hits in the second. Now, Kelly Johnson will lead off an inning for the second time tonight. Tried to check his swing and went around. There's a changeup at 89 miles an hour. And that's a hard changeup.
It's a hard changeup with like splitter type of action. You can see how he holds it in his hand. It's almost like a 3-finger changeup, and he can roll it out of those big fingers and make it go down. You've got to really see it out of his hand.
And you can see that he doesn't mess around. He gets the ball back. He's thinking about the next pitch. He gets set on the rubber, and he's ready to deliver.
His average velocity with that changeup is almost 89 miles an hour, and then he can just ramp it up to 94.
Hey fans, every time Toronto hits a home run in the 4th inning, a lucky winner will take home a Sharp home theater system, including audio soundbar, Blu-ray player, and Aquos LCD TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp, big is too small a word for it. One out. Rajay Davis takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Outside. We mentioned Henderson Alvarez grew up idolizing Felix Hernandez. Well, Felix Hernandez idolized another Venezuelan pitcher, Freddy Garcia. And Garcia is still pitching, of course, now with the Yankees, and he's the winningest Venezuelan-born pitcher in baseball. But at the time when Felix Hernandez signed with the Mariners, Garcia was pitching with Seattle, and he got a chance to meet him when he first came to Safeco Field, and he always looked up to Freddie, as Freddie got to the big leagues early and pitched very well for Seattle.
And never pitched on the same team for the Mariners. Garcia's last year was 2004. Hernandez's first call-up with the Seattle Mariners was 2005, but they stay in contact.
Garcia is 9 years older than Felix Hernandez, and back in July they matched up against one another, and sure enough, Freddie Garcia sent a text to Hernandez, said, "Hey dude, we're going to pitch together." That's pretty awesome. This is trouble. If it stays fair, it's a base hit. Davis is thinking about going to second, and he strays too far. Now he's in a rundown. Mariners, and they hit Davis, and he'll stay at first safe. Oh my, he dodged the bullet. Seager did a good job. Once he saw Davis committing towards second, the third baseman picked up the ball, fired across the infield, and got Davis in a rundown.
I think it was heads-up play on both players. Rajay Davis rolls one up the third base line, and he's thinking, if he turns his back on me and that ball stays fair, I've got a chance to turn this into a double. And I've seen that before. I've seen Mariano Duncan have a ball just like that turn into a double. So Rajay thinking ahead right here, thinking about going, but then Seager crosses him up by picking up the baseball. Then it's a rundown, and the Mariners mess it up and allow Davis first base.
So it's an infield hit for Davis. He's at first with one out. Jeff Mathis drilled a double in the alley in left center. His first time up. Mathis studying Brian Butterfield, who is passing the signs across the diamond to Rajay Davis. Davis with 42 steals. Mariners have caught 32% of the runners with Hernandez on the mound. He truly has all of the weapons.
He knows that Rajay Davis is going to try and pick on a pitch right here to steal second base. And he's got a pretty quick move over to first. And he's, for a big guy who throws hard, delivers the ball quickly to home plate.
There goes Davis. Mathis pulls the bat back, and Rajay has his 43rd steal of the season.
Picked a good pitch to run on. It looked like it was a slider from Hernandez. You can see not a high leg kick. He delivers it quickly, and Rajay just outruns the play. He is just too quick. 43 steals now, his career high. He's closing in on it.
He had 50 steals with Oakland. Mathis bunts it up the third baseline. Seager, no play. And now Davis gets picked off at third. Oh, my. What a mistake. No place to go for Rajay Davis, but again, Kyle Seager makes a heads-up play.
Well, he did it with Davis on first base, picks up the ball, and they had him in a rundown and should have got him out. Now Jeff Mathis lays down a bunt. No chance to get Mathis, so he fakes like he's going to throw there, and there's Rajay Davis straying a little bit too far off of third base. And he is DOA.
No reason at all to make a turn around third. Just go to third. You know it's going to be touch and go. And now there's a base hit by Anthony Gose. The barrel over to cut it off. He knocks it down. Mathis is being stopped at third. And that cost the Blue Jays a run. Davis getting picked off at third base as Gose hits a double. So the Blue Jays get 3 straight hits and they haven't scored. Gose jumps on the pitch and drills it down the right field line over the first baseman's head.
Rubbed by the outfielder, get over there to cut it off. I was watching Brian Butterfield and the Blue Jays. When the ball was initially backhanded and missed, he was going to try and score Jeff Mathis. Doesn't take anything for granted. He is hightailing it around the bases right there. I think if that throw comes into second base, he would have sent him, but the Mariners do the right thing. They hit the cutoff man, and they have to hold that runner at third base.
So back to the top of the order. Mathis hit third, Gose at second. 2 outs, Brett Lawrie behind 0-1.
Nasty. Slider that goes away from him. Changeup that comes in on him. And now you just have to protect the plate right here.
And Brett's done a good job of battling with 2 strikes. And that's where he's at right now against Felix Hernandez. Laurie's hit over 300 with runners in scoring position. Puts this ball in play, but it's foul. He just can't make mistakes against a tough pitcher like Felix Hernandez.
Nope. You just don't have those opportunities that many times against Felix Hernandez. You have to take advantage of it.
Hot shot, base hit. Mathis in to score. Right behind him, Anthony Gose, and Brett Lawrie delivers a 2-run single.
And they do take advantage of it. Brett Lawrie delivers. Before that at bat, on a 1-2 count against Felix Hernandez this year, batters were hitting 132. and he feeds him a fastball. He says, that's the problem I've had my last couple of starts, my inability to spot the fastball. That one was supposed to be down and away, ended up in the middle of the plate, and Brett Lawrie smokes it into center field.
Oh, what a good job by Anthony Ghost to hit the double. Mathis with a bunt single. And Brett Lawrie takes Rajay Davis off the hook with a 2-out, 2-strike base hit to center. 4-2 Blue Jays.
Take off on the first pitch right here. You know that pitcher is thinking about the inning, thinking about that last pitch.
Yeah, but Hernandez has that awareness, and he was thinking right along those same lines. You know what? I'm not going to let this game get away from me. Colby Rasmus is 2 for 2. Blue Jays have fared okay against Felix Hernandez. We mentioned this is his 9th career start against the Jays. They are 3-3 against King Felix. This is his 30th start of the season. Comes in with a 13-7 record.
8 hits already against Hernandez.
Ball on a strike. Upstairs. 2-1. Colby Rasmus right now must be thinking, what's the big deal about King Felix? This is the first time he's faced him. He's 2 for 2. That's the one thing that always is available for Hernandez. He can throw any pitch at any time. He drops a breaking ball in there and a fastball count. Gets back into the count at 2-2.
You saw it on his scouting report how many pitches he has, and when he's throwing them all for strikes, he's unhittable.
That gets away from Jaso, and Brett Lawrie will go to second. Jaso got leather on that ball, but couldn't corral it.
He knows what's coming. It looked like a slider, and he just missed it.
He missed it, but the pitcher will be charged with the wild pitch. That's a ball that the catcher's got to catch. It was in the air when he tipped it off the end of his glove. Full count, 2 outs. Upstairs. Colby Rasmus has been on board 3 times tonight. And Edwin Encarnacion will come to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Anderson Alvarez settled down after allowing 2 runs in the second. Now enjoys a 2-run lead.
One of the things that has been missing from the Blue Jays offensively is that big hit. When they went into that prolonged slump, not winning ball games and scoring fewer runs, they weren't coming up with the clutch 2-out hit.
It's a good slider down and away.
And this might be the guy right here, Encarnacion at the plate, to deliver one of those big hits.
And the Blue Jays already with 8 hits against Hernandez. We're just in the bottom of the 4th. It's bounced foul. Edwin Encarnacion has 39 homers and 99 RBIs. He's looking to become a member of the 40-100 club for the Blue Jays. Carlos Delgado reached those lofty goals in 3 different seasons. Jose Bautista the last 2 years. Jesse Barfield, Tony Bautista, George Bell. There's a drive, and he's done it. home runs, 102 RBIs. For the first time, he has reached those lofty plateaus.
And the 8th player in Blue Jay history to do that. Looked like a changeup that was down. And we have talked about Edwin Encarnacion's ability to hit when he is behind in the count. 1 and 2. He's a 350 hitter, and that time unloads in a big way.
Well, what a big inning, and it all comes with 2 outs and a very happy Edwin Encarnacion, and he should be. And that's one of the best seasons the Blue Jays hitters have ever put together. 40 and 100. 2 great milestone numbers. And he has put himself in an elite class. And he does it against a former Cy Young Award winner.
And no doubt about it, too. A big hit, something the Blue Jays had been missing. He comes up with that one and blows this one open here in the 4th inning.
And that's the happiest guy on the bench right next to him. Rajay Davis, who is wearing the goat horns for a while, but now it's all forgotten as the Blue Jays have put up a 5 spot here in the 4th.
Edwin was saying, change up, it was down, and I got the bat head out in front and didn't miss it.
Well, that's what teammates are for. You got to pick up your teammates once in a while, and Rajay made a mistake. Laurie picked him up first, and now Encarnacion, just for good measure. Adam Lind is an 8th man to bat this inning.
How about Edwin in the 1 and 2 count? That was a 1 and 2 count. Yeah, he hit a home run. That's what he hit the other night. Last night against Millwood, it was a 1 and 2 pitch.
There's 11 home runs now on that count.
Wow.
Here's the 2-2. Then takes it the other way. This is trouble. It's a fair ball and bounces out of play. A ground rule double for Adam Lind. Eric Wedge now probably contemplating his next move as Felix Hernandez just doesn't have it tonight.
Down and away with that pitch, but Lind stays right with it. That's where he is the most dangerous, when he is staying on top of that pitch and hitting it the other way. He told you that Felix Hernandez has given up 7 or more runs now 15 times in his career, and the Blue Jays have done it to him 3 of them.
Carter Capps loosening up, and yeah, that sound you hear is legit. He throws 100. So the Blue Jays have scored 7 runs on 10 hits. Hernandez has allowed a season high 11 hits twice. May 11th at New York, the Yankees got him for 11 hits in 6 2/3, and then on the 7th of September, Oakland, 11 hits in 4 2/3. So the Blue Jays have jumped all over King Felix. We mentioned they did the same thing to him last April out in Safeco Field when they scored 7 runs off him. He was matched up against Jesse Litch in that game. That was last year in April.
Oh, that was a miserable day. It was good when they were beating them, and it was freezing. I said, okay, if you're going to stay around here and it's cold, let's win the ball game.
They went into the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays had a 7-0 lead. Seattle scored a run in the 7th, 5 in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th. And that turned a whole road trip around.
Yep.
Full count to Yunel Escobar. Blue Jays have had a bat around inning. All the while, Henderson Alvarez is thinking, keep it going, boys. I like the run support. On the ground to second baseman. Dustin Ackley throws out Escobar. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays score 5 runs. All coming with 2 outs. First, Laurie with a 2-out single, and then Edwin Encarnacion. Home run number 40. 7-2. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Jose Cruz Jr. from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. home run. One lucky fan will bring the game home with their new Sharp home theater system. To see if you've won, visit Hit a Home Run with Sharp.ca. Sharp, big is too small a word for it. And Double E did it last night in the 4th inning. He does it again tonight against Felix Hernandez. A 3-run home run on the heels of Brett Lawrie's big 2-out, 2-run single.
Very rarely are you able to string together 6 hits in an inning off of Felix Hernandez.
5 runs on 6 hits. 9 men going to the plate in the 4th.
And we'll take it.
Carlos Peguero, the right fielder. Peguero drove in 2 runs his first time up with a double. There's a good pitch down inside corner.
He doesn't get cheated. He'll go up there and he'll take some mighty hacks. So when you see guys like that, sometimes it's better to go soft.
And there's a pitch inside. Full count.
When you see a guy taking mighty swings like that, getting everything into it, you can really upset his timing by throwing a little something off speed.
Right to the first baseman. Lind will go to the bag. Peguero is retired, 1 down. Now Pete Walker is on the dugout bench as Bruce Walton was sitting on the bench. He got hit by a broken bat, and we've just been informed that he has a forearm contusion. He has undergone precautionary x-rays just to make sure he's okay. So Pete Walker will be the interim pitching coach for the rest of this ball game, more than likely. So hopefully Bruce is okay. Popped up. Jeff Mathis in foul ground, and Ryan is retired. 2 down.
Who becomes the bullpen coach? They got a pretty good one back there, I think.
Darren Oliver.
Darren Oliver. That's right.
He's been down there long enough with enough experience.
They've got a few guys down there who could serve that role. I bet you could put Brandon Lyon in there, Casey Jansen, Darren Oliver. A lot of brains in that bullpen.
Alex Andropoulos, the bullpen catcher, will probably answer the phone. There's drop. Does a great job. Throws BP. Handles all the pitching down in the bullpen. Dustin Ackley is behind 1-2. Ackley's gone 0-for-2 so far. The student is out pitching the mentor. What's wrong with that? Alvarez wanted it, and Jerry Mio said, you know what, it was inside. That's the pitch that Alvarez struck out Michael Saunders with to start the 4th inning.
Go back in there, throw a better one.
Felix Hernandez is hit a little rough patch. Last 3 ball games, as we mentioned, he's been hit around a little bit. Angels got to him for 5 runs in 7 1/3, and you see now the total of these last 3 starts: 16 innings, 30 hits, and an ERA at 9. Plus the fact the opponents are hitting .400 against him.
Angels, A's, and now the Blue Jays. Last 3 starts.
Ackley will draw the 2-out walk. It's a second walk issued by Alvarez tonight. Franklin Gutierrez was robbed of a base hit on a terrific play by Laurie at third and by Lind on the other end of the throw at first. That was in his last at bat.
You know, it's not surprising when a pitcher is working the way Alvarez is, working very quickly, throwing a lot of strikes, not getting strikeouts. Mariners putting the balls in play. You'll see a lot of good defensive plays.
One and one. Blue Jays trying to win the series finale. Seattle has a 6-2 lead in the season series. Mariners won the first 2 games of this series, 3-2 last night, 4-3 on Tuesday night. Shattered bat. Laurie not really sure where the barrel was and still has the presence of mind to get the lead runner at second. And Eric Wedge is going to come out to protest the call. Alvarez gets out of the inning. But Laurie at third. Watch Laurie shield his face, not sure where that barrel of the bat is, puts his hand up and still gets the runner at second. New pitcher out of the bullpen for the Mariners here to start the bottom of the 5th is Carter Capps, making just his 11th appearance, and he's a very interesting pitcher. Capps is a draftee, a 3rd rounder out of the 2011 draft. And he's a guy that throws hard. It's an interesting story that we'll break down as he works in this ball game.
6'5", 220. Just turned 22 years old on August the 7th, and he can really light it up. We heard his name for the first time when we were out in Seattle. When Seattle made all those changes right at the trade deadline, Steve Delabar came over to the Blue Jays in that trade. Carter Capps is one of the pitchers they brought up from the minor leagues, and he throws really hard.
He was a 3rd round pick, as we mentioned, in June of 2011. And the Diamondbacks have promoted their 1st round pick, Trevor Bauer. He's come up and pitched in the big leagues this year. But Capps is one of the few out of that 2011 draft. And that first pitch is an easy 97. Capps is very interesting. Obviously, he's got a great arm. That last pitch was 99, but well outside. See, he's got an unusual delivery and big square shoulders.
That could be tough on the right-handers trying to stay in there against him. Started the year in Double-A as a reliever. Went to Tacoma, and now here he is in the big leagues.
He was a catcher his freshman year in college. Mount Olive College in North Carolina. And a lot of people discounted him because, first of all, he's a Division II player. You know, you got to do your homework to find these players. Now, I don't care where you play. Chris Sale was from a small school in the Gulf Coast of Florida, and now he's become a prime-time pitcher for the White Sox. Kelly Johnson lines it into center. That'll get down for a base hit. Gutierrez over to cut it off. Felix Hernandez had a short outing here tonight. 4 innings, 10 hits, earned runs 7. Walked a batter and struck out 4. Now, he threw 90 pitches, and notice the game score. We told you an average game score in the American League this year was 49. So King Felix has a game score tonight of 31. And it matches up to his line score for sure. Short outing, ineffective, and his game score reflects that.
Yeah, remember, you start with 50 points and you subtract for hits and what you do past the 4th inning. Not a good night.
Bill James, the king of statistics, developed that game score formula. And it's a pretty simple approach and appears to be a pretty accurate one. There goes Kelly Johnson, and Jaso lost the handle. So Kelly Johnson with the steal, his 12th of the season.
Big jump. Nearly no chance for Jaso. Jaso's only thrown out 7 base stealers all season long. That time, a long delivery to home plate by Caps. Johnson picks up on it and steals the base.
Ball and a strike to Rajay Davis. I tell you what, I'd like to see that orchard where the Mariners grow all these big pitchers. My goodness, 6'5", 6'6", 250, throwing 100.
And it's year after year after year that these guys come up from the minor leagues and they wow that radar gun. I like the guy they threw out there the other night, Stephen Pryor.
Stephen Pryor, big, strong-bodied right-hander with a big arm. Ground ball to third. Seager looks Johnson back, and Davis is out. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests of TD. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Beautiful night here at Rogers Center. A fall evening, and it's cooled off and very comfortable. And especially comfortable right there in that front row. Jeff Mathis is 2 for 2. And there goes Kelly Johnson, and Carter Caps forgot all about him. Oh, Kelly Johnson could have walked into third base.
Watch how long it takes for him. He gives him one look, and then he's got a running start at second base. I don't care how hard you throw. When you give a guy that big of a lead, he's going to steal it easily.
So now the infield will come in. Jeff Mathis, a double and a single. And another hit right back over the mound into center. An RBI single. Johnson jogs home. It's 8-2 Blue Jays. Jays have their hitting shoes on tonight.
How about Jeff Mathis? Double his first time up. He gets an infield single on a bunt and then turns around a fastball. This one comes back faster than it was going in for an RBI single. His 3rd hit of the night.
The Jays now have 12 hits. They had a total of 10 hits in the first 2 games. Just 2 last night against Kevin Millwood. They got 2 hits in 5 innings against Millwood, and then no hits against the bullpen the rest of the way. Anthony Gose ripped a double down the right field line his last time up. Fastball on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Ghost checked his swing, and down at third base, Paul Emmel said he went too far. So Ghost is out on strikes. Doesn't really believe the call, but he'll pack the lumber back to the dugout. As Carter Capps gets his first strikeout of the night.
Geared up for that fastball. Ghost thinks he holds up on it. They check. It looked like it got enough to the plate. Maybe it was down. It looked like a swing.
Looked like he went too far. So now there are 2 outs. Brett Lawrie had a big hit last time up. He drove in 2 with a 2-strike, 2-out single to center. That broke the 2-2 tie, put the Jays up 4-2, and then Double E drilled a 3-run homer. One batter later, his 40th home run of the season.
The Blue Jays came up with some big 2-out hits in that inning. You mentioned the double by Ghost to get runners at second and third. Lawrie's single.
There's a breaking ball. Lawrie strikes out. The inning is over. Blue Jays add a run. They have an 8-2 lead against Seattle. Will take place September 29th and 30th when the Blue Jays welcome in the New York Yankees. Saturday, September 29th, the first 10,000 kids 14 and under will receive a Junior Jays Fan Appreciation Player T-shirt. Sunday, September 30th, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Fan Appreciation Player T-shirt courtesy of Home Hardware. The player T-shirts include Jose Bautista, Brett Lawrie, Casey Jansen, Edwin Encarnacion, J.P. Arancibia, and Colby Rasmus. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. You can log on to BlueJays.com to order your tickets or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Kyle Seager fouls off the first pitch. Felix Hernandez is a consummate team player. He got knocked out of this game early, but he's still on the bench. Obviously disappointed. His last 3 starts have not been good. This is a Cy Young Award winner in 2010.
Didn't know what to do with himself. His other short outing, shorter than tonight, just 3 2/3 at Cleveland back in May. I don't want to go back into the clubhouse and watch this game on television.
I think that's one of the hardest things about being a starting pitcher. You only get to play once every 5 days, and if you have a short outing, boy, it's miserable. Now you got to sit around and think about that bad outing for another 4 days. Won't get a chance to play again. Seager, bouncing ball to the second baseman. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Philadelphia Phillies are going to make things interesting in that series. Tyler Cloyd pitching tonight for Philadelphia. Then Cole Hamels, Kyle Kendrick, and Roy Halladay. And then they'll go from Houston to New York to play the Mets.
Cloyd versus Harrell tonight.
Lucas Harrell is 10-9 for the Astros, but Phillies, they're really playing good.
So assume they sweep them, and you got to think about they have to sweep the Houston Astros, who are terrible.
They've won 7 in a row. Phillies have.
They might be right there if they sweep them.
If they sweep them, they would improve to 19-4 in their last 23 games.
Do you think they would want to do a do-over with some of the trades they had? Maybe ask for Hunter Pence
or Shane Victorino back. Can we have Shane back just for the last couple weeks?
Joe Blanton, too, was another one to let go.
Well, evidently they're not missing him.
Yeah, but playing better.
Victorino hasn't done much for the Dodgers, as the Dodgers are floundering since the trade. But how about that? And you know what? Be careful if the Phillies get into the postseason.
Yeah, with those 3 guys they can run out there.
Alvarez had a shot at that ball, but he swiped at it and missed it. It's a base hit for John Jaso.
It's a good fielding pitcher, Henderson Alvarez, and he thinks he has this one. High sinker. And it's just out of his reach and into center field.
Well, there's so much good baseball to come here the rest of the month and into that first week of October. And you can see a lot of it right here on Sportsnet, and certainly right into the postseason, as we'll have the postseason coverage of the games on Sportsnet. The Braves 11-14 in their last 25, but they still have a big cushion in that National League wild card race. I think they have a 5.5 game cushion for that first spot in the National League wild card.
These teams that are just on the outside, a couple of games out from, like Oakland, Detroit, Tampa Bay, that's all for the league. And then those wild card teams, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, all they need is a nice little hot streak.
Lynn gloves it, goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Michael Saunders runs well, and Lynn's throw was to the outside of second. But Saunders hit it hard, and Lynn makes a nice play. They get the lead runner at second.
That's another nice play by the infield. Lynn bounces off the bag right to his glove side, and the throw takes Escobar to the outside where you want to be, where you can just skip right across that bag, set your feet, but he catches it with his left foot on the bag, and he can't cross over and finish off the play. A lot of times you'll see the shortstop with his right foot on that bag. I think he was anticipating that ball inside.
First baseman Justin Smoke has gone 1 for 2 so far tonight. Those are very unusual numbers. 191, 14, and 41. Just really inconsistent. You'd think he'd be hitting for a much better average, having hit 14 home runs.
And being a switch hitter, and that's over 400 at bats for Smoke.
We mentioned he was a #1 pick of the Texas Rangers, came to Seattle in a Cliff Lee deal. There's a strike, catches the inside corner.
Still throwing hard at 96 miles an hour with that fastball.
2-2. Blue Jays bats have come alive here tonight. They've scored 8 runs on 12 hits. They hit 2 home runs against Felix Hernandez. Not an easy task. Number 40 for Edwin Encarnacion. Adam Lind hit a 2-run home run. Hernandez had allowed just 12 home runs all season coming into this game. And the 3rd lowest home run per 9-inning rate in the majors. Gio Gonzalez of the Nationals was first. Jared Parker of the Athletics second. And then Felix Hernandez was 3rd. A short night for King Felix. Full count. Saunders will be off on the pitch. There he goes. Ball 4. Two on, 2 outs. Fans, you can watch every out-of-market Blue Jay game live or on demand on your favorite device. MLB.TV Premium now also includes a free subscription to At-Bat 12. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Beautiful downtown shot of Rogers Center. CN Tower standing next door, and the Mariners are threatening here with 2 outs. Luis Jimenez. Big swing and a miss.
Got some power. They list him at 6'4", 285 pounds. 20 home runs this year in AAA and 81 RBIs. He was putting on a show the other day in batting practice here, hitting him off the 5th deck.
He's from Venezuela. He's 30 years old. Had 11 years in the minors. He started out in the Oakland system, as we mentioned, and then bounced around. Baltimore, Dodgers, Minnesota, Boston. Back to Baltimore, Boston. Spent 3 seasons with the Nationals. Went to Japan in 2009. Played with the Nippon Ham Fighters and hit 5 home runs. Nippon Ham was a big team over in Japan, and he just really never got it going over there. Then came back and played in the Seattle system for the 11 and 12 seasons.
Came back from Japan and couldn't find work. He played winter ball for Lara and was the championship series MVP in 2010, earning a chance to go to the Seattle organization.
Blue Jays always had a working relationship with Lara. They're in the Venezuelan Winter League. The team is in Barquisimeto. Bouncing ball, big hop for Lind. He'll toss to Alvarez. The inning is over. The Mariners stranded pair. Colby Rasmus will start things off. He's got a couple hits, been on base 3 times tonight. Edwin Encarnacion, his 40th home run, a 3-run shot. Adam Lind has a pair of hits, including a 2-run homer. offering solutions to the NHL lockout. It's Hockey Central. Tune in to Countdown to Shutdown tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Obviously, a lot of concern about the status of the hockey negotiations. Carlos Truenfeld is taking over at shortstop. Alex Liddy is the third baseman, as Eric Wedge will give his regulars a little bit of time off. Trayvon Robinson takes over in left field for Michael Saunders.
Get some of the regulars off their feet in this 8-2 ball game in the 6th inning.
Kobe Erasmus had a good night at the plate. He singled in the first, singled in the third, and walked and scored in the fourth. He scored 2 runs. 2 for 2 with a walk.
You know, he looks a lot slower at the plate. When he was going through his rough time there a couple of weeks, it looked like he was rushing everything at the plate. He was trying to go out there and hit the ball instead of letting it come to him. He has slowed everything down at the plate, and the results have been pretty good.
Oftentimes you just have to go back to basics, and what Rasmus did was he squared up his body a little more, looked more squarely at the pitcher, and things came right back to normal.
Yeah, they did. They pulled his hands away from his body just a little bit more. And when he was opened up towards the pitcher, he's telling me that really forced me to close my shoulder so I could stay in there, and slowed everything down, and all of a sudden I could start seeing the ball just a little bit better. Up to 22 home runs now.
Good rip at that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Eight-2 Blue Jays lead it. Seattle has been held to 2 runs on 4 hits. Off-speed pitch, and Rasmus strikes out. So Edwin Encarnacion will step to the plate. He's had a milestone home run here. His last time up, he hit home run number 40 off of Felix Hernandez.
1-2 count. It looked like he doubled up on a changeup. It was down and in, and Encarnacion is saying, yeah, I got that one. He has done a good job all year long hitting the off-speed pitch, hitting when he is behind. We just haven't seen him chase too many pitches out of the strike zone all year long.
How about those numbers? 280, 40, and 102. Those are big numbers across the board for an offensive player.
87 runs scored this year for Encarnacion, 13 stolen bases. I'd say that's pretty good.
And because of that great season, he's been rewarded with a 3-year contract extension. So he knows where he's going to play for the next few seasons. Deep drive to left field. Is it fair? No, it's a foul ball into the second deck. Boy, he had good sound on that one as well.
We love that.
Hitters love to hear that sound. Pitchers know that's never a good sound.
Yeah, you hear that too many times, you're not going to be around long.
Got a piece of that breaking ball. Always used to love to give my pitchers a hard time if they had a rough outing, come into the trainer's room the next day and put cotton balls in my ears. And man, that sound around home plate was loud last night. Dave Steve always loved that.
You just had a way of making your pitchers feel right at home, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. We never wanted them to get the big head, you know? Get a case of the big head.
That would certainly do it. I'll tell you that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He stays alive, fights one off. So what do you think of Carter Capps?
I like his arm. You can see why he could be tough on the right-handers. Fastball got a little bit of giddy up on it, but it looks pretty straight. And I don't care how hard you throw, if you don't put it in a good spot, big league hitters are going to hit it.
There's another foul into the seats. I tell you what, though, I'll take my chances with somebody as big as Carter Capps and a strong arm.
He has something that you can't teach. He has the ability to hit triple digits.
They mentioned he went to Mount Olive College in North Carolina. He was a third-round pick by the Mariners. 2-2. High and deep to center, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Franklin Gutierrez makes the catch. 2 down. So when the Mariners approached Carter Capps about signing, they made him an offer, and he said, you know, that's nice and everything, and I want to play, but I would like to pitch in the Cape Cod League. And the initial reaction of the Mariners was, well, you either want to play or you don't. He said, you know, I just want to go measure myself against those big college players. And that's what the Cape Cod League's all about. You know, top college baseball players in the country. Playing after their sophomore season, playing as juniors, getting prepared for their draft year as juniors.
And he was coming from a Division II school.
Right. So he wanted to see what that was all about, and he pitched very well. He was a starter in college, pitched in the bullpen in Cape Cod League, and really blossomed.
Division II Pitcher of the Year his last year in college.
Doesn't really make any difference where you're playing as long as you're playing.
He'll find you. Scouts will find you.
Adam Liнд's had a good night at the plate. He homered in his first at-bat. That put the Blue Jays up 2-0 in the first. Then he had a strikeout and a double. A couple extra base hits. He's 2 for 3. Breaking ball foul out of play. So when you were in high school, I know you were a basketball player as well, but where were you thinking about going to play college baseball?
Didn't have any offers.
You were going to college to play basketball?
I was going to go play basketball, and they said that they would let me play baseball also. But I never played summer baseball.
Off the end of the map, Alex Liddy throws out Lind, and the inning is over. We have played 6 at Rogers Center. Henderson Alvarez and the Blue Jays have a comfortable 8-2 lead over Seattle. We'd like to look back to the summer. 11 teams across Canada participated in the Bantam National Championships held in Vaughan, Ontario. Blue Jays would like to congratulate the Brampton Royals for winning the tournament. Brampton defeated Vancouver 11-3 in the championship game. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Hard to believe the baseball season has come to an end for many of the amateur players from coast to coast in Canada. Season's not over for Omar Vizquel. He comes in defensively to take over at second base. Anthony Gose, who started in right, moves to center, and Moises Sierra comes into the ball game defensively in right. Carlos Peguero is batting.
Good looking pitch right there. I like how Alvarez to these left-handers have really crowded him with the fastball tonight. Looks like he has made a conscious effort of pounding inside.
He's really thrown the ball well tonight. I think that's the one thing that we have seen consistently. Had a hiccup in the second inning. Walked the leadoff batter after the Blue Jays took a 2-0 lead.
Could be throwing a shutout. A ball that was misplayed a little bit in the outfield cost him a couple of runs. But this is how he pitched his last time out against the Boston Red Sox. Pitched into the 7th inning and then came out with some triceps tightness.
Omar Vizquel makes an easy play of it. Peguero's retired, 1 down. The Blue Jays had early workouts this afternoon before batting practice. They had the outfielders out working. The catchers were throwing, and Anthony Gose was having a little fun in right.
Yeah, this was after all their serious work was done. They were trying to show off to each other and create different ways to catch fly balls. They've been out there for about a half hour, and then on the other end of one of those machines that shoot fly balls out there, they were trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, and they had done all their serious work, as you mentioned, so by that time it was okay to have a little fun. Carlos Truenfeld in for his first at bat, grounds out to shortstop. 2 down.
How about a 360 from Moises Sierra in the outfield? I don't know who the judge was on some of those fly balls. Colby Rasmus had a nice one. I saw his where he laid down and caught it with his back on the ground.
Yep, you got to mix it up from time to time and make sure the guys have a little fun as well. Reward them for their hard work during the serious play. 2 outs. Weston Ackley takes 1 down and in. Colby Rasmus had a good night at the plate. He's got 1 for 3 with a walk, scored a pair of runs. Blue Jays will welcome in the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. There's a ball driven to center, and that ball is going to leave the yard. High off the Blackberry sign in center field. Weston Ackley with his 11th home run comes with 2 outs in the 7th.
You were talking about it earlier, and I agree with you. This guy's going to hit. He has had a little bit of trouble with the off-speed pitch in his 2nd year in the big leagues, but he can turn around a fastball. 5th hit of the night for the Mariners. 3rd run scores. Watch where this one is. Right in the middle of the plate, and he hits it to dead center.
They're pretty confident that Ackley can fill a bunch of needs for them. He can play second as he's done in the big leagues. He can also play first. That's where he was playing when the Mariners drafted him. There you see the bullpen coach. It's Luis Rivera, who's gone down from the bench. And there's a line drive to center. Gose. It's a chest high catch. Gutierrez is retired. The inning is over. Mariners get a run on a 2-out home run. The Blue Jays have a 5-run lead. It's 8-3. pitcher for the Mariners will be the right-hander Hector Noesi. Noesi started out with the Yankees, came to New York along with Jesus Montero in exchange for Michael Pineda and Jose Campos on the 23rd of January 2012. Noesi made 30 appearances for the Yankees last year, started 2 ball games, finished with a 2-2 record this year, worked in 18 games.
Yeah, spent some time in the big leagues and some time at AAA. 2-11 with a .566 earned run average. Noesi is a good young project for the Mariners.
Munenori Kawasaki takes over defensively at second base. And Casper Wells comes into the game, takes over for Franklin Gutierrez in center field. Eric Wedge is unloading his bench. The Mariners will go from Toronto to Texas to play a 3-game series against the Rangers starting Friday night. Jeff Mathis and Henderson Alvarez did a good job tonight shutting down the Mariners. 3 runs on 5 hits. I wouldn't be surprised if that's it for Alvarez. 7 innings.
Yeah, 7 solid innings for Alvarez. We saw Brad Lincoln up when he was out on the mound last inning. Gets an out or 2 here and we get him thrown again. That's probably a sign that his night is over.
Unless he throws a strike. It's 3-1. Excuse me, it's 2-1. Junel Escobar's gone 0 for 3. He struck out in the 3rd inning. Hits this ball into center. Casper Wells cruises over to his left. 1 out. Omar Vizquel getting his first at bat.
I like this. I like that John Farrell's giving him a chance to play against the team that he came up with against the Seattle Mariners.
And looked like Escobar's night may have ended as he returned to the dugout. John Farrell called him over. Probably told him that he's out of the ball game.
We got plenty of reinforcements on that bench. It's September.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I'm sure John Farrell's aware of that. This is the team that Vizquel started with. Came up with the Mariners.
Still lives in Seattle. Still makes that home. And he's going to give him as many opportunities to tie and possibly pass Babe Ruth in the all-time hits. He's 3 away. And he said he will find as many at-bats as he can for Omar for the last couple of weeks of the season.
There he strikes out as Noesi retires the first 2 he faced here in the 7th. Fans enter the Hit a Home Run contest with Sharp on Facebook today. There are 5 ways to win this year, including a grand prize draw for Canada's largest LCD TV, a 90-inch Sharp Outpost. Join Sharp Canada on Facebook today. 2 down, Rajay Davis. Rajay's had an interesting night. He struck out in the 2nd, got an infield hit, stole second base in the 4th, and then was out rounding 3rd base on a bunt single by Jeff Mathis. And it looked like the Blue Jays were going to squander a great scoring opportunity that inning. But they ended up scoring 5 runs on 6 hits, all with 2 outs.
Brett Lawrie coming up with a hit. Ghost doubled, then Lawrie doubled, a walk, big 2-out walk to Rasmus, then the big blow, Encarnacion's home run. But yeah, it looked like it could have been all for naught.
Anthony Ghost and Brett Lawrie both had big hits tonight. Ghost had a double in that 5-run 4th inning, and Lawrie drove in 2 with a clutch single. Boy, the hack by Rajay Davis, but he fouled it straight back. Noesi may end up being a pretty good pickup. He's just 25 years old. Tell you one thing, I like the Mariners' future from the pitching standpoint. You look at the young pitchers they have, and their best pitcher is only 26.
Yeah. Been around now 7 years.
Fly ball to center field. Casper Wells right on the edge of the warning track runs it down, and Noesi has a clean inning in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead 8-3. The right-hander Brad Lincoln into the ball game in relief of Henderson Alvarez. Hits 3 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 2. He threw 108 pitches. His game score is 51. Remember, the average game score in the American League is 49. So he goes 7 innings, 5 hits, and ends up with a chance to win his 9th game. Brad Lincoln on to work the 8th inning.
Brad came in the game in this series, first game in this series versus the Mariners. Faced 4 batters, retired all of them with a strikeout. He's got a good fastball. He's got probably the best curveball out in that bullpen. Good numbers in his 45 games, split between Pittsburgh and the Blue Jays.
But Danny Echeverria into the ball game, as we thought, as Yunel Escobar gets the rest of this game off. Alex Leedy drills it into center field. Ghost giving chase, but it'll bounce off the base of the wall. Alex Liddy with a leadoff double for Liddy. His 4th double of the season starts things off against Brad Lincoln.
Well, he didn't waste any time, did he? He knew that Lincoln was going to challenge him. 5-run lead, 8th inning. He's going to challenge him with a fastball first pitch, and he hit it hard.
Liddy just his 109th at bat this year. We saw him early in April as he was with the big club then. John Jaso goes after the first pitch, and why not? You imagine that Lincoln's going to try to get ahead with that fastball.
Yeah, challenge him.
There's that curveball, and Jaso, all he can do is foul it off. Seattle Mariners are going to have an interesting finish to this season. They're going to play nothing but contending ball clubs the rest of the way. Eric Wedge, the manager, says, you know what, I like it. I like the fact that our kids are going to get a chance to see what it's like to play meaningful games in September. although it doesn't mean the same for them as it does for their opponents. But when you look at the rest of their schedule, they will go from here down to Arlington to take on the Rangers. And then they'll be home for a 3-game Orioles series, followed by 3 more against the Rangers. Then they go back out on the road, 3 in Los Angeles with the Angels, 3 in Oakland, and then the Angels return to Safeco Field to wrap up the season.
So you grind all the way to the end of the baseball season. And he's right. It's good for young players. Even though you're not playing to get into the playoffs, you're playing for something, and it means something. I remember when I was a young player with Cleveland and we knocked Minnesota out one year. It made our season.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that you can teach your young players is what it's like to play meaningful games in September. You look across the field, you can look at the Angels who are really grinding right now. The Angels had a tough series and eventually won this afternoon against Oakland, salvaging one of those games. Jared Weaver pitched a shutout as Oakland was able to. Angels won that game 6-0. How about Omar Vizquel? Just a reminder to the Mariners what they gave up after 5 years. They dispatched Vizquel to the Cleveland Indians.
Hall of Famer with a closet full of gold gloves. I get a chance to watch him every day take ground balls, and it's a pleasure to watch him. He doesn't have the quickness he had when he was younger, but he still has those sweet hands, and they are so soft and so true. What a play.
And you know what? He still enjoys it. 45 years old in his 24th season. Trayvon Robinson batting for the first time. He came into the ballgame defensively in the 6th inning. Michael Saunders finished up 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Alex Liddy in his only at bat and a leadoff double. He's now over at third base. Good breaking ball, and Robinson strikes out. 2 downs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. And Derek Jeter just keeps rolling along. RBI singles, 1 for 4 tonight. Alex Rodriguez has had a pair of hits. Jeter is serving as the DH as Eduardo Nunez is playing shortstop, and Nunez has a couple of hits. Phil Hughes, 6 innings of 4 hit balls, 6 1/3 to this point. Yankees up 2-0.
There's not going to be any panic in the Yankees, even though they've given up that large lead that they have, 10 games. They're not going to panic.
The players aren't going to panic.
The fans, media.
It might be the media and the fans. Dustin Smoke gets jammed. Brett Lawrie from right field throws him out. The inning is over. We have played 7.5 here at Rogers, and the Blue Jays have an 8-3 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Jose Cruz Jr. in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game will not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Victor Noesi in his second inning of relief. Retired to side in order in the seventh. Jeff Mathis with a perfect night. How about a 4-hit night for Mathis?
How about his second 4-hit game of the season? Hanging breaking ball, stays right on that one, and he is locked in right now. You can tell his approach at the plate, everything has been hit hard tonight.
Great job by Jeff Mathis, and he gets the leadoff single. Anthony Gose.
Panthers had one of these nights back in June against his former team.
It's his third career 4-hit game. Second this year. That game in June, on 28th of June, right here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays lost that game. Dan Herron was the starter for the Angels.
Hit a home run, an infield single, double, and then another single. Kind of like tonight. Bunt single for Jeff Mathis.
Well, and you know what? Mathis now has had a chance to rest there when Eric TV was out. He was playing every day and really got kind of worn down, I think. But now he's had a chance to recharge his batteries, and that batting stroke has come back. Good cut by Gose.
Right. He wants that one back. That looked like the same pitch that he hit his first big league home run on in Boston. Pitch that was a fastball inside, and you can see from his reaction he'd like to have that one back.
Inside. Full count. Jeff Mathis with leadoff singles at first base. Bottom of the 8th inning, 8-3 Blue Jays. He scored 8 runs on 13 hits and hit a pair of home runs. Adam Lind had a 2-run homer in the first, and when Encarnacion a 3-run home run, his 40th of the season. That came in the 4th. Gose will take one inside, ball 4. Boston Red Sox will be here over the weekend, and it'll all start tomorrow night. Dice game at Suzaka against Aaron Laffey, the first game, and then on Saturday afternoon, Clay Buchholz, Carlos Villanueva, and a great matchup on Sunday. John Lester goes against Brandon Morrow. That's the 3-game series. The Blue Jays will then head out of town on Sunday night and fly to New York. They'll enjoy an off day on Monday before picking up things on Tuesday against the Yankees. One more road trip left for the Blue Jays. They'll go New York, Tampa Bay, Baltimore. A 9-game road trip.
9-day, 10 games. We got that doubleheader.
Doubleheader, that's right.
Baltimore.
On the 24th of September for the rainout. It'll be a traditional doubleheader. Ball on the strike to Brett Lordy.
It's when Baltimore comes back on that long road trip that they take. Let's see what kind of shape they're in.
Yeah, Baltimore will go out to Oakland. Oakland, Seattle, Boston. That's their road trip. Oh, he reaches for it, pokes it to second. Kawasaki to Triumfa. They turn to double play. Good double play by Kawasaki, the second baseman, there. Triumfa on the shortstop. So they're 2 down. off the month of September. Boston's in here at Rogers Center for a 3-game set. Then Tuesday, Blue Jays will start a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium, then go down to St. Petersburg to take on the Rays. And we'll finish up with a 4-game series in 3 days at Baltimore. Moises Sierra getting his first at-bat. He entered the ball game defensively in the top of the 7th. Hits one to center field. Casper Wells, his ball is carrying on him and goes right to the warning track. Just a couple of strides short of the wall in center, but the inning is over. We will go to the 9th. The Blue Jays trying to close out Seattle. They've got a 5-run lead. Aaron Loup on to work the 9th inning, trying to close out this ballgame, making his 24th appearance of the season. And Aaron Loup has been a very impressive discovery for the Blue Jays.
He wasn't on the radar in spring training, and then went to Double-A and really found it. They changed his arm angle just a little bit, dropped it down in that 3/4 slot, and he has taken off. Had great numbers down in New Hampshire this year. When they needed a lefty in the bullpen, they brought him up, and he hasn't disappointed. A very good ERA. And one important fact, he has really been tough on the left-handers. Just 174 lefties are hitting against Loup.
So he'll get a couple of left-handers to deal with to start the 9th inning. Luis Jimenez, the DH. And Carlos Peguero, the right fielder. It's a nasty breaking ball. It's always been good for him, and he gets ahead. 0-1.
What are hitters saying on the bench right now?
Why me? Crossfire, and it's a ground ball. Vizquel, 360 in time. 1 out. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's Ivanka Osmak and George Poplis. And obviously lots of news coming out of New York today with the hockey negotiations, and they'll bring you all up to date on Connected coming right up after this game. Carlos Peguero takes a first pitch strike. He had a 2-run double in the 2nd. Mariners tied it up in the 2nd on the 2-out double by Peguero. That's a great pitch. Boy, that crossfire breaking ball, and left-handers don't have a chance.
Hitters are saying, hey, you're up by 5 runs. Challenge me with a fastball. But you've got an ERA to worry about. And that is a tough pitch for lefties.
Lynn gets it, and he'll toss to Luke, who retires the second batter of the inning. 2 quick outs.
We were talking earlier this year about who is the biggest surprise for the Blue Jays. And right now, that might be Aaron Luke. Like I said, he was on nobody's radar in the spring. Went down, made a few changes, and the way he is pitching, he might have earned himself a job already for next year.
Yeah, he's pitched like a veteran. He's pitched out of some tough jams, and we've seen him time and time again just maintain his composure and never waver in even tough spots. Carlos Strumfeld drives this one to right. This is going to be a fair ball, and it bounces and goes up against the wall. Strumfeld is headed for second. He delivers a 2-out double off the wall in right. That's his first big league hit, and it's a double off the wall in right.
There goes the baseball. Showing some pop to right field.
So now the second baseman, Munenori Kawasaki, gets his first at bat. Kawasaki, in his first year with the Mariners. Started out his professional career in the Japanese Professional League. And he slaps this ball right to the shortstop. This should do it. Kawasaki is thrown out by Echeverria. And the Blue Jays win it. They win the final game of this 3-game set. And the final game between these two ball clubs this year, they win it 8-3. Some clutch hitting in the fourth blew the game wide open.
Yeah, and Henderson Alvarez, I think, was the Henderson Alvarez we saw last year. He really had that good fastball working tonight. He kept it at the bottom part of the strike zone, kept his defense engaged, got a lot of ground ball outs, and he beats his idol, Felix Hernandez. Well job by the Blue Jays up and down the lineup.
5-run fourth inning was the difference in the ball game. John Farrell's team wins the final game of the series. We'll see you tomorrow night when the Red Sox in town. Stay tuned. Connected coming right up.